different. Let God be God. Is it the spirit inside me making the effort to become God? And what effort is it making to become God? To become God, make me the subject and become God over me. Whatever you want to become, you can become. Like, fine, you have the power to do so. People have power to enslave other people and control them. People have power to end up colonize other people. We've seen all that in life. But does that mean that they created you? And we're talking of creation in a form of a person. You're creating the person, not necessarily building the character. That's a different thing. Your parents can even build you up or say, we brought you up. But they didn't create you. They brought you up. They brought the character. They instilled the character that you have in you. Britain did not create all his colonies. He didn't create the colonies. He might have created borders, invent all sort of things, brought his culture in there. People learned, look up to them, and build their characters and became whatever. They were instilled with some ideas and norms of life and all that. But the British people did not create those colonies. They didn't create the people in there. They might have created the borders around it. They might have do whatever it is that man can do. That's as far as it should be. But it can be relatable. If the spirit takes control of my life and the spirit didn't create me, then we still have room to look for what the answer really is. What answer am I talking about? We are seeking for the creator. We are seeking for the ultimate source from which we all came from. That maybe even spirits have come from that same source too. Because in humans, there are characters of those who are strong and those who are weak. So probably it stays with the spirit. They are so strong and those who are weak. But whichever way, we want the source that gave life to all things. That's what we're looking for. If that's what you are looking for, then side by side you are with me. But if that's not what you are looking for, then you probably don't have to waste your time if you're listening, because you're far from that. Because my idea of religion and culture is coming from this root, building a strong base of argument or strong base of facts that is not necessarily the truth, but out of what we are meant to see or respect as the truth, I am unveiling it, in a truthful way. So it's not that what I'm saying is necessarily the truth. Don't get me wrong. What I am saying is something that I'm deducing, I'm taking out of what we are meant to see as the truth. Exposing certain things in it that you are meant to see as the truth. And then you making your decision to realize that it is not true. It is not necessarily the definite truth that you should rely on. Because the stories are meant to tell you about the beginning of your life, the beginning of human race, the beginning of the living things. And there are so many accounts. So it disqualifies any account to be proven or to be seen as a true one. It has become very competitive now. Christians believe that the story in the Bible is the true words of which how human beings came about. Any single thing out there which is miswritten or somehow wrongly written or whichever way disproves the entire thing. But apart from that, there are other accounts of stories which tells us how the life began. We accept that there are many gods. So how can the other God tell me how life began for me if my God is there? The only way you do that, if I surrender what I am and become what you are, or become part of what you are, I have left my God. And in many ways, I have left my opportunity or my only chance of knowing my true source or my true background. Because the only way you can know is how you were born or the date you were born or anything about your birth is from your parents. So if my true God who created me, like the African or any colony or any country that was colonized in some point, who has lost his tradition or his God or his religion or his culture, has lost his contact with his creation, his beginning, or what began, how his life began. And he has got a new one. So he sort of adapts to the new things. And it is not necessarily the truth of what he is. Because what you have adapted to is in line with someone else. But that someone has taken over your life. He's not necessarily God. He didn't create you. He didn't create you. He didn't form you. He has no knowledge. Or even if he has knowledge, he has knowledge within his own, his own scope, honestly speaking. So the African man or any other outside of anybody's religion cannot end up accepting that claim from that religion, saying that I created you, I did that, you are that and that and that, and you buy that. No, you're completely in the opposite side of understanding what truth really is about. You can't discover your true self from that end, because that spirit or that God doesn't know a thing about you. Even if he knows, he's not talking from an honest, truthful end. And he's not probably not talking to you. You have come in. He loved you. He will embrace you. People adapt people, But he's talking. He's whatever he present to you. He's trying to present to you to understand that he's presenting to the people who are truly his. The Jesus theory was invented out of another religion. They adapted it, and they took it as their own. So the West side have made a God for themselves. They have created a spirit. They have, not necessarily created a spirit, but in a way created it. But deep down, they have invited themselves to spirit and done everything possible to keep the spirit or embrace the spirit, as long as they try to be loyal and obedient and get the idea of what the spirit really wants. Then as long as they're able to do that, they will still hold on to what they have. They might not be theirs, but they have imitated the original thing, which also has created something, but nobody knows what it is. And whatever it is has not openly declared itself. I've never known anything about truly what Jesus is this or Jesus is that, or the true Jesus or the spiritual Jesus being seen, the real Jesus there. Until you read about it, you realize that there has been some changes, some translations of the name of Yeshua to Jesus. Whatever the name was, that has to be changed. I don't know. Maybe Moses' name has changed too. Maybe Peter's name has changed too. So many names. John's names have changed too. I don't know. Maybe all those names have been changed. It's possible. You go through the commentaries of the book. There's lots to read. You get tired of reading them. But have a common sense approach to it. After you've educated yourself a little bit, you have a common sense approach to it, and you don't need to go far reading too much. You get the gist of it. You will get you will get the idea that this isn't right. It wasn't necessary for people to see things the way we see things, or embrace things the way we embracing it as the honest truth. They are not necessarily the honest truth. So it clearly, from my point of view here, is telling me that there are many gods. I have to acknowledge that. The Bible also sometimes tells his own followers to live peaceable with everybody. There's a reason for that. Maybe the British people are doing good to sort of let people understand that their God meant good and can bring good things to everybody's life, and in a way trying to persuade many to sort of rattle with their God and make their God the ultimate God for everybody. And so it becomes necessary to do more charitable things to people outside, which are not necessarily in the same religion or culture as theirs, just to please the men and the people there, to adapt or to convincingly pull or attract other people from other gods, other people who have their own worship, whatever, to be inspired or embraced into their culture and their religion. Maybe that's what the idea is about. Trying to opening the scope and opening room for people or more people to glorify their God. That can also be the case. But why is it necessary for man to go through all that length if it's not being done by the Spirit, and it's done by the men? Why would you go all that length and not allow God to be God? Let it be. Let God be God. There's so many other spirits there. Now we see that this charitable means was not achieving its aim, either being the Muslim charity or the Christian charity or the Buddhist charity. They are not achieving their